Here in the Phoenix metropolitan area, there's a local comic book chain called Samurai Comics. They've got about 4 or 5, maybe 6 locations. I've been to all of them at least once. And the last visit I had, which was maybe 2, 3 weeks ago at least, I was given a flyer for a sale, a big, huge sale that they would be having at their warehouse. I told them the kind of things that I was looking for, and they said, you might want to go to the warehouse and see if we have some of that stuff. It's going to be a big sale. So I'm going to give you a quick look around of the warehouse and the sale, and then we'll come back and I'll let you know what I found.
Unfortunately, Ruben's on Caldwell, and if it's in the weekend, like, he's not
I got a new man.
I'm already in. So they work and they win a few more than half, but I can't give them that good target. You're invested. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's done a fantastic job with the flute that she has. She needs a better one, and if we have any meetings right here. Sometimes it gets put in there without
Supposedly, this series by Morrison is what inspired The Matrix. So much so that there were some legal disputes.
Okay.
That's funny.
I mean, I heard it's good. Oh yeah, that's the famous one. Like Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
This is Serious House in Yeah, it is a serious house. This is a good plan. Yeah.
Okay, grab it then.
That's a spot. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's the Infinity Cup section. Sorry, guys. Thank you.
There's some things that took longer to trade in though.
Okay, so we're back. I guess the highlight of the sale was that they were having thousands and thousands of $1 comics on display, and there were people all over that stuff, as you just saw. Plus they had just a lot of back stock from their different stores, and they also had some wall books, as you saw as well. So let's just get right into it. Let me start off by saying, just last night I got a new subscriber, and as I often do, I go to that subscriber's page to see if they themselves have a channel so I can check out some of their videos. So this particular channel, let's see, is called Big L Bow. Big L Bow, and this is a comic guy, much like myself, who's just out there looking for that good stuff to read. Just a regular comic collector, not trying to impress anybody, and definitely not trying to break the bank. So I started watching some of his videos, and make sure you go check him out. Big L Bow, B-O, on YouTube. And one of his videos that stuck out to me just simply said Dollar Bin Bonanza. And I love checking out the different comics that people find in the dollar bins. I know that's one of those places that, depending on the place in the store, I tend to stay away from that stuff. But if I know that store, or it looks like those dollar boxes have some fire in there, then I'll definitely dive in there. One of the books that this guy showed was a book called Trigger. Now this is issue number 1. Now when I saw this book, I was immediately attracted to the art. Anyone who knows me well knows that when it comes to comic books, it's the art first for me. If I can get into the art, if I'm really digging the art, then I can get into the book pretty much no matter what the story is, for the most part. So he showed this book, and he flipped through the book to show some of the art in this book, and I was immediately attracted. Let's see here. Let's find some good pictures. I was immediately attracted, you know, to this art. And this guy, let's see. Let's take one more look. So this book was actually done by Jason Hall and John Watkiss. I'm not sure who is the artist and who is the writer, but I decided just last night after seeing his video that I wanted to check this book out. So that's what I did. I went looking for this first. He found it in the dollar bin, so I decided that's where I'm gonna go first. And I'm looking, and you know, one of the things I dislike about the dollar bins is there's more of a chance that you're gonna dig through 99.9% books that I'm not interested in. Now, let me say it that way, than ones that I think I'm gonna find or I'm actually looking for. So I went through 3 or 4 boxes. I'm getting bored pretty fast. But then there was this one long box. And I don't know if Samurai, if those guys did this on purpose or just happened to happen like this, but all of these books in this one long box were for the most independent. I mean, Vertigo is not super independent, but it is more adult oriented in terms of themes and violence and things of that nature. But this entire box just had a ton of those kind of titles in there that were kind of off the beaten path. Most of them were just complete indie companies, or they were, you know, subsidiaries that dealt more with the kind of stuff that I get into. So I'm not exactly sure how many books are in this run, but I found issue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that's either the whole run or that's a very, very good start. I'm very excited to get into this book. Who knows when I'll get around to reading it, but I will be doing a review on this title. And I just want to send some love over to Big Elbow for the suggestion, or basically just for showcasing this book. And he immediately got me interested. Make sure you check him out on YouTube. So that was my first find, one of the first finds of the night, or the day I should say. That was today. I think the sale started at 10 and ended at 4. In that same box, I saw another title where the art just kind of jumped out at me, and that's another Vertigo book called Faith. Now, I don't know anything about this book, but I do remember seeing that artwork and thinking, man, this reminds me of someone. I'm not exactly sure who, but it reminds me of some artist that I've seen before. It just looked kind of familiar. So I picked it up and I flipped through it, and once again, I was definitely drawn in by the artwork in this book. Here in the front, it's got like some mummy type stuff in there. So you guys know I'm a big fan of horror comics. Ted McKeever does this book, I guess. And so I found this run. This is was a 5-issue mini-series. Issue 1, there's issue 2, there's issue 3, issue 4, and issue 5. So, another one I'm looking forward to getting into. All these were from the dollar bin. In the same box, and the same thing happens as I find another book where the artwork on the cover jumps out at me. This is a book called Us. Another Vertigo book. Maybe the whole box was Vertigo. No, it wasn't Vertigo. But here's 3 from that publishing company. And this was just a 2-issue series. Issue number 2, Do or Die. Issue number 1, I Want Out. Check that out. Like Uncle Sam, looked like somebody put some hands on him, which I know we're not sad to see that happen. And then who knows what's going on here. He might be trying to get some get back. We know how he does it. So this is another one. This kind of, it's like a thick book on here. I'm not sure if it's got the same amount of pages as the regular, but it kind of looks like it, but it's got like a really thick cover on here. Cool looking artwork. I mean, man, I really scored with this attractive artwork. So has anybody out there heard of Us? Or is it US? 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 Somebody let me know if you've read this book, if you've even heard of it. Okay, in the same box, this was a title I've never seen before. Publishing company is called Tundra. And this was simply titled The Jam. Now, what kind of drew me into this book was I've always been a fan of the big box block art at the top of the comic books that, you know, had that style to them. And then the fact that I'd never heard of the publishing company, definitely indie. And then at first glance, this guy, his mask kind of reminded me of MF Doom, if you know who that is. And then if you look on the back of there, so he looks like some type of superhero, or I don't know. I'm not sure what this guy's story is, but I thought it was cool. It was a 5-issue run on that one. I figured, why not? They were all there. There's issue number 2, issue number 3, issue number 4, and issue number 5. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm definitely gonna try to do a review on this one. More dollar books there. So let me take a little bit of a left turn just to kind of introduce this next book I found. Probably maybe 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, I was out in Mesa, Arizona, and the shop that I visit when I'm out there is Greg's Comics. Howard and his, I can't remember the other guy's name. Howard's the old school guy, and I'm sorry, I can't recall his brother's name, but he's more into the newer comics. So while I was in there, I asked him, hey, is there anything brand new that you would recommend? And he gave me a few titles. The first one is this book called Deviant. I'm not going to get too much into this book yet, but he pointed that one out. And then he told me about this book called The Department of Truth. Have you guys heard that? Now, apparently this book has been out for a while, and I guess it went so far, and I think they stopped it or they paused it at some point, and now they're bringing it back or something like that. I'm not sure, but he suggested that to me. So I started grabbing them. I believe I grabbed 2 or 3 copies while I was there, and then I picked up a nice little stack over at Drawing the Comics in Glendale, and then today I found some of those too. Now there was a whole dollar section in one area of the store, or one area of the warehouse at the Samurai sale, and then they had this whole other area of just all of these back issues and this back store stock. And so that's where I found some issues of some Department of Truth issues that I was actually missing. So here's issue number 3 that I was looking for. Then I picked up issue number 6, and this one is issue number 17. So they had a nice amount of these in their back stock. Most of them were bagged and boarded, and some of them weren't. And I wasn't sure if maybe they were $4 a piece, the ones that were bagged and boarded. And I asked one of the workers there how much were the loose ones, and they said they're half off of the cover price. So I got these for $4 a piece. I mean, for $2 a piece. Yeah, because these are $3.99 each. So I actually got these 3 issues for $2 a piece, which was nice. I wish there was one more there that I was looking for, but I decided I'll just wait and grab that at another time. And then the last set of books I picked up was the book from DC called Static. On a past video I showed, I believe it was issue number 20 that I was looking for, that has the Lost Boys on the cover. And I had never heard of Static before, ever. I'd never, if I ever saw it or came across it, I didn't pay it much attention. Anyway, after I bought the Lost Boys issue, I just started picking them up here and there when the price was right. So today, I picked up issue number 2, issue number 4, issue number 5, and what is this? Issue number 7. And the last one I picked up is issue number, here's issue number 6. So I'll probably just go up to maybe 20 issues. That's good enough. I can't see myself really getting into this book. I mean, I could be wrong. I could change my mind once I actually start reading them. But I'm not a big reader nowadays of hero books. I mean, I do have my classics. I always read Daredevil over and over again, Iron Man, Hulk, the Avengers. Those are like the staples of the old school books that I read. But we'll see. But for right now, I think I'll just end it at 20, and I'm probably halfway there, maybe 1/3 to 1/2 way there. And these books they all have $4. But when I got up to the counter, they told me they were only $1 a piece. I said, okay, that's fine with me. Wonderful, perfect. And they had tons of copies of these, so maybe they were just trying to wipe them out. I think I heard somebody say that they had a ton more comics that they didn't even have a chance to put out there. So that was my my comic haul for today. This sale was so big that it was like a mini con. It was like literally, the people were in there. It was really packed. It was a lot of people. Even when I left, there were people steadily coming in. Apparently they do this every quarter. This is the first one I've been to, and the first one that I've even heard of. And so I'll definitely be back in the future. But I want to send some love out to Samurai Comics. I want to send some love out to Big L Bo and his YouTube channel. And I want to send some love out to Greg's Comics and the whole crew over there. So, thank you guys for hanging out. This is Daryl D. Daryl D TV. Daryl D TV. Don't get it twisted. And we'll see you next time. You guys be safe.